Hi, thanks for joining me here in the Guitar Comfort Zone. Today we're not going to talk about guitars for a change, but we're going to talk about something that is nonetheless important for us. Headphones. More and more people use amp modelers on a computer, whatever, and we need a headphone to keep the people around us happy. Now, first I want to explore what do I, and probably you as well, what do we use a headphone for? Now, first and foremost, of course, we use them to listen to recordings of our guitar, to ourselves playing guitar, listening to music, probably gaming. In my case, making videos, I'm editing for hours. I need a headphone for that. Importantly for me also, I like to be able to play guitar and hear the guitar for a video, and it would be nice when I can hear myself speak easily. That really helps in my case. Another thing, when I began to look for headphones, I figured out that actually my head and my jaw here was much bigger than I thought. That became, let's say, an issue as well. And another thing is that I hate it when my ears get overheated in the summer in my headphone and I'm really sort of dying to take it off my head. And the other requirement I made in my mind, just to make things not too crazy, because I have to pay for stuff myself, not more than about €150 for the headphones. So the things I just mentioned, the use of the headphone, I would say those we have to translate for those requirements, we have to translate into specifications of headphones. Now, let's do that. Because we play guitar and may use electronic translations of a guitar sound, we don't want to introduce latency into the signal chains, because latency is something that really, it kills me. I mean, above 6 milliseconds, you notice latency. The chain itself usually has a bit of latency, so you don't want to add latency with, for example, a Bluetooth headphone or whatever. I mean, they're getting better and better, but I want a wired headphone because I don't want to introduce latency into the channel chain, into the sound chain, whatever you call it. Because we listen to music, I like the sound of the headphone to be detailed and transparent. For gaming, we want to have what we call a good soundstage. That is sort of like that headphone, when you're listening to it, gives you a three-dimensional sense of the space around you. For gaming, that's interesting because you can hear whether the footsteps of your enemy are on the left side behind you or on the right side behind you. Things like that. For editing, you want the headphone to be reasonably neutral so you can judge the sound of your mix. For gaming also, you would like some bass response because you like to hear the rumble of an engine or maybe an explosion or whatever. So I decided for an open back design. Now, an open back design you can find here. You see that basically the back of the headphone is all holes. Same here. Now, why did I choose for an open back design? I just mentioned the soundstage for gaming, but also for listening to music. It's nice to hear, let's say, the singer in front of you, and where you see the drums a little bit to the left on a certain space. It's also nice for listening to music. Open back headphones tend to have a better soundstage than closed headphones, closed back headphones, or semi-open back headphones. Here is an example of a semi-open back. You see here and here, you see they're slightly open. So open back headphones, better soundstage. For me, more ventilation. Your ears don't feel like they're really overheating. And I can hear myself talk with an open back headphone. With a closed back, that is much more difficult. Now, the problem, if it is a problem, it depends on your use case, is that an open back headphone allows other people to listen to your music as well. I'll illustrate that effect to you. Okay, I want to give you an idea what it sounds like when you're around open back headphones. I'll move to a distance of 50 centimeters with the headphones away from the point where I would normally be when I speak on these headphones. So you can compare the volume of the headphones with my voice. So after some research, I came up with 3 wired headphones that have the specs that we're looking for now. Of course, there are many more, but one of the requirements was that it would be suitable for a big head, but also had the range of adjustability that it's suitable for a small head. So that narrows it down quite a bit. And of course, the price narrows it down as well. We have the EasyEffects K240 for 75 euros, the EasyEffects K702 for about 140 euros, and the Beyerdynamic DT99 edition for 155 euros. So they're all in the range. All 3 come with an uncoiled cable. I like uncoiled cables because coiled cables feel heavy when I move around. 3 meters, they're all about 3 meters, the cables that come with the headphones. And when you're annoyed by the length of this kind of cable, you can just put an elastic band around it and you have a shorter cable. Or you can just put another shorter cable. Now, that's one thing to think about. Both EasyEffects, the one I don't have, the K240 and the K702 here, you can easily unplug the cable and exchange it for another one. And here you can see what happens to a headphone when the cable breaks and you can't easily change the cable. You have to be very, very good at do-it-yourself soldering, or you just have to throw it, which is the case with this one here. The Beyerdynamics, on the contrary, has an attached cable. There are some mods and workarounds, but it requires taking the whole thing apart, making a hole a bit bigger, whatever, a lot of very fine detailed soldering. So I'm not sure that's a solution you would want. You may just cut the cable, put a 3.5 plug here, male, female, and have your sort of, cable attachment here. That might be a more easy solution with less risks of soldering problems. The EKGs don't come with a bag for the headphones. The Beyerdynamic came with actually a beautiful, nice upholstered sort of little suitcase-like thing, which is a nice touch, I think. Okay, let's wrap this up. The EKG K240, the 75 euro one that I don't have here. I think it's great bang for the buck. It's comfortable as well. Crazy detailed sound. Not overly prominent bass, but still more than the K702. Versatile, good for everything, and I mean, it's not for nothing that people call it the bedroom producer's favorite. Now the EKG K702, that's this beautiful one here, is the most detailed and transparent in sound, and I think also probably the best for critical listening of the bunch here. It produces bass notes that are very detailed and clear, and with some equalization you can boost the bass quite a bit and it still sounds good. It's comfortable as well. It's very light. The ear cups are big, so good for big ears. Great for vocals, great for acoustic music. But you can play, I would say, almost any style on it. Electronic music that, depends on maybe detail and the character of the sound. It's good for many, many things. And actually, I think this one became my favorite, but that's a personal thing. It just depends on your use case, your scenario, your requirements. The DT990 edition sounds more like a fun headphone. The V-shape, lot of bass, lot of treble. More suitable maybe for popular bass-heavy music. Definitely more suitable for very distorted sounds, but a Bach cello suite sounds great on this one as well, I must say. Vocals are noticeably more recessed, let's say less present, if you like. In the beginning, I thought I heard like a metallic sound on female vocals, but that disappeared after some use, I must say. With EQing, you can make the response a little bit flatter, and you can use it maybe for a little bit more critical listening or mastering, if you like. So it's further versatile in its own right, and I would say it's great if you like modern distorted music and for gaming as well. Comfort-wise, I prefer the DT990 with the great range of adjustments, excellent build quality, very comfortable ear pads, gentle clamping force. It's absolutely great. The K702, I think it's also very comfortable. It's very light. And, this cuts a bit into my jaw, but that gets less and less. And when the headband becomes a little bit more supple, the size is also absolutely good for me. K240 is very similar to this one. It's also very comfortable, and as I showed you, these ear pads, you just change the ear pads, and if they bother you somehow. Now, like guitars, comfort is a super personal thing, so you should maybe try things before you buy. Now, I hope this was helpful for you. Of course, the 3 headphones I showed you are based on my specific requirements. That may be quite different for you. Maybe you want a closed back headphone because you don't want anybody to hear your music, and for you it's not important that you can hear yourself speak through the headphones. Things like that. I mean, there are personal requirements. Maybe you don't care about the soundstage because you don't want to use it for gaming, or you just don't care about it anyway. So think about what your requirements are and sort of, translate it into a headphone. That's what I've been trying to do here. Now, if this review was useful for you, and I definitely hope it was, give me a bit of your time and push the subscribe or like button. That would really help me. Thank you so much for doing that. Great. In the meantime, enjoy life, enjoy your guitar, enjoy maybe your potential future headphones, and I hope to see you soon.